So when the Nintendo Wii launched, it was a massive hit. I remember it was the system that really brought Nintendo back on the map because so many people thought of the Nintendo GameCube at the time as a commercial flop. Because going up against competition like Sony's PlayStation 2 or Microsoft's Xbox, it was really hard to break out of the pack unless you did something completely unique and different. Well, that's what Nintendo did here. They really hit a home run with the Nintendo Wii, and today I'd like to show you my entire Nintendo Wii game collection. So I have 66 games, but it's a still growing collection. And I'd like to walk you through what's in here and which games I recommend you might play as well. Let's get to it. Okay, so getting started today, here's a game that was published by Atlus, and it's kind of interesting because it shows that not everything Atlus puts out is gold. This is called the 101 in 1 Mega Party Mix, or Party Mega Mix. Basically just a bunch of party games. It's the answer to Wii Play, if you will. I haven't played this because honestly I've heard the reviews for it weren't that favorable, but it's Atlus, that's why I picked it up. Next up, this is a game that has become highly sought after on the Nintendo Wii. This is Arcade Hits Pack, Gunblade New York, and LA Machine Guns. So this is basically your typical on-rail shooting type game, which the Nintendo Wii is excellent for, by the way. And in it, it's basically what you think it is. You're taking to the skies in both New York and Los Angeles, and it's a classic arcade shooter. Now, I was searching around the internet the other night. The actual arcade cabinets for either one of these is selling for about $1,500. At least that's the asking price online. So it's nice to have these two games right here in one available for the Wii. And this is one that I recommend you pick up now if you don't have it already, because the price has been creeping up steadily throughout the years. So I mentioned before I buy a lot of games from boxes or collections from people. This is one of those games that I picked up from there. This is Barbie as the Island Princess, and I'm laughing because I haven't played this. I'm not sure if I'm going to play this. Got nothing against Barbie, just this hasn't been one that I'm itching to crack open. You never know, it could surprise me. It could be one of those games where it's like, oh man, Barbie is the Island Princess. Wow, this is like a hidden radar, flew under the radar game of the year type of game. I don't think it will be, but you never know. Next up, Bass Pro Shops The Strikes, basically a fishing game. I haven't played this one, but I imagine it's pretty interesting that you take the nunchuck and cast out and maybe use the trigger from the nunchuck to kind of reel in the fish. So I'll give it a try at some point. Here's a game I have on multiple consoles. This is Bully, the Scholarship Edition. So Bully is put out by Rockstar Games. It focuses on a student in school. Can't remember if it's middle school, high school. Don't know if that even really matters. But basically it's Grand Theft Auto, but in a school. Now you can't do things as crazy as throw grenades or shoot guns and stuff. I don't think you'd want to do that in a school anyway. But you can fist fight. You can pull pranks on people. Pretty cool in that respect. So if you haven't played Bully before, I definitely recommend you checking it out. Next up, we have Cabela's Big Game Hunter 2012. So this is going to be a lot like the, I forget what the game's called, but the game Buck Hunter, where you play in the arcades and shoot at stuff. Same exact premise here. They have a Wii gun accessory where basically it looks like a gun. You put the remote into it. You got the nunchuck too. You use it to kind of aim and play as if you're using a play gun. So that's available for this too. And in a similar vein to that, this is Cabela's North American Adventures. So this is pretty much more the same of the previous game, just shooting at elk and deer and rabbits and all sorts of stuff out in the wild. Next up, Chicken Little Aces in Action, or Ace in Action, I'm sorry. I have not played this one. It looks like it is a platformer. It's kind of interesting looking. Actually, got Chicken Little all decked out in like some space equipment type stuff, driving around in tanks and whatever. Actually, it's Join Ace in Outer Space. So there you go, your space equipment. Haven't played this one, if I've said that already, but I'm expecting this will probably be pretty interesting. It might surprise me. I know nothing about Chicken Little other than the classic children's story. Keeping up with the chicken games. This is Chicken Shoot. I don't think this game is very good. I got it at a GameStop Retro for about $5. It's looking like you're going around either shooting chickens or playing as a chicken, shooting things that would shoot at chickens. I'm honestly not too entirely sure. Played this, let me know. I don't expect this to be too good of a title. Here's a game that a lot of people laughed at when they saw it in my collection, but I actually really love this game and it's a lot of fun. This is Cooking Mama Cook Off. So in this game, you're basically just cooking, but you're competing against either the clock or in multiplayer, you're competing against your friends. And it's pretty fun when you have the Wii remote and you're like chopping things up. There's even one where you make popcorn, where literally all you have to do is put in the microwave and turn the dial, which is kind of stupid, but also funny at the same time. There's also an area where you have a skillet on the stove and you're having to shake things around. I really like this game. I think it's a lot of fun. If you've not played Cooking Mama, I highly recommend it. I don't know how the Cooking Mama games play on the other systems. I know it's come out on the DS or the 3DS. It's maybe even got a Switch release. But right here, using the Wii remote and the Wii nunchuck, this is the way I originally learned to play this game, and I loved it. I had so many great moments playing this game with friends. Um, Again, might have a bad rep associated with it just by first glance, judging a book by the cover. This is a great game. Next, we have a game called Deer Drive. This is more just another shooting type of simulating game where you've got deer on the screen running and you use your crosshairs to try to shoot them. I haven't spent too much time with this, but there was a period where I was trying to get all of the on-rail shooter games made for the Wii. So this is one of those ones that I picked up along the way in that quest. Next up, another game that I got from a collection. This is Dora Saves the Snow Princess. I know nothing about this. It looks like it's a platformer game. I know nothing about Dora the Explorer or that franchise. So if you played this, let me know, especially if it's pretty good. Every once in a while, you've got these obscure type of games that fly under the radar that are actually good, like Gumby, for example, for the Game Boy Advance. Ended up being a pretty good game from what I've heard. So you just never know. Next up, no case, no manual, but this is the EA Playground. I know nothing about this game. Again, I think this is one that I picked up just in a collection of games that I bought. I'll give it a try at some point, but I imagine the premise is similar to like Wii Play or Wii Sports. Next, we have Epic Mickey. This game's pretty awesome. So basically, you have paintbrushes and you use it to unlock, um, different powers and different things to tell the story of Mickey. It is very colorful, very artistic. I believe this got released on other consoles. I want to say the more modern consoles, you can definitely play it at least digitally, if I'm not mistaken. But happy to have it here physically on the Wii. Here's a game I have not played, and honestly, it's because it's probably inferior to Cooking Mama. Maybe I'm wrong on that. This is Food Network, Cook or Be Cooked. It looks like the same exact premise of Cooking Mama, just probably takes itself more seriously. So it looks like you're making grilled cheese or hamburgers or a soup or whatever. But it looks like they're trying to go for realistic graphics. It looks like a realistic man and a woman on the back, whereas Cooking Mama, it's completely, Japanese style, not taking itself too seriously type of game. And then we have Gallop and Ride. So I don't know anything about this game. I've not played it. It just says life with a horse is a dream come true. Maybe. I don't know. I would imagine in this game you breed horses, you take care of them, you feed them, you probably ride them, but haven't played it yet. I'll get around to it at some point. Next game, we have the Wii Game Party. So this is, again, it's kind of like a clone of Wii Play, where you have darts, skee ball, air hockey. some other random type games. I really haven't played this one. This is just one that I picked up along the way. If you played this one, it's any good, please let me know. Now, I mentioned I was on that quest to get all the on-rail shooters. This is one that came up a lot in my searching, and ironically enough, it was pretty cheap. This is Ghost Squad, and this was only about $5. I'm not sure if the price is still holding around the same area or if it's steadily been going up. But this is pretty cool because in this game, you're basically going through rooms or buildings as a sort of SWAT team member, and there are different hostage situations. So you've got bad dudes that are like holding people hostage with a gun to their head, and you have to shoot the bad guy, avoid shooting the hostage. So it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. I tried to beat it. I think I got pretty far, but something happened where I either timed out or I died one too many times. I don't know. I think this would be a lot of fun to play with a friend. I've only played this solo, but looking forward to playing this with a buddy. Definitely check this one out if you've not heard of this before. It's a great game. Next up, Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock. So this one's interesting because I noticed on the back it says it's not for resale. So I don't know if that means anything in terms of collectability for this one. This actually ended up having a little bit higher of a price than I thought it would when I entered into my CLZ Games app. But I haven't played this one only because there have been so many different Guitar Heroes out there. I remember when the Guitar Hero series first came out, it was the PlayStation 2. I played a ton of it over there. So then as it started coming out on all these other systems like the Wii, the Wii U, the Xbox, Xbox 360, etc., I was kind of already filled on that one. I think it oversaturated the market a little bit. So I haven't played this one, but it looks like it's got some great songs on the back of it. Artists like Black Sabbath, Def Leppard, Foo Fighters, Kiss, Linkin Park, Megadeth. There's a Metallica and Ozzy Osbourne song together. So I think this would be pretty cool to play, actually. And at some point I'll pop it in, but haven't played it yet. Here's a game I probably will never play. This is Jillian Michaels Ultimate Fitness, or Fitness Ultimatum, 2009. So this does use that Wii board that I have over here on the floor that came with like the Wii Fitness games. Looks like you're like doing crunches off of it, or it's got, rowing a boat, doing some crew type of activities, jumping rope. I'm sure at the time this was pretty cool. I know that now with the Wii or the Wii 2, I'm sorry, the Switch or the Switch 2, there are some games out there like the Fitness Challenge ones where you can play and do some more things. So don't really see the need to go and revisit this, but who knows? Maybe it has some cool laughs in it. Next up, Kid Sports Crazy Golf. I have not played this one either, but it looks pretty fun. And again, I'm a huge fan of these golf games that don't take themselves seriously. The serious golf games, like your Tiger Woods games, are the ones that try to be more realistic. A little bit too serious for me. These ones, however, where it's like cartoony, over the top, you focus more on having fun than actually the mechanics of playing golf, I tend to like more. So I think I would really enjoy this one if I ever played it. Next, Lego Harry Potter. This is years 5 through 7. So it's kind of cool on the back. You could see Voldemort, which is interesting what Lego did because Lego is always campy and kiddie and a little more family friendly, but Voldemort looks pretty intimidating or menacing, I should say, as a Lego character. So I've not played this one. I think the Lego games at a certain point became oversaturated. I had my fill with the Star Wars Lego games, so by the time they did all these other franchises, I just kind of was burnt on them. But it's probably a pretty fun one to play, especially on the Wii. And in that same vein, we have Lego Indiana Jones. This is the original adventure, so I would imagine original adventures would be Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. Which, in my opinion, those are the only 3 movies that matter. I saw the Crystal Skull one. It was just that, meh. And I think there was a more recent one that came out, or at least there was a newer video game that came out. I don't know. At a certain point in time, these franchises need to just quit while they're ahead. Like, I know that there's this whole thing about trying to market everything and make as much money as you can and really milk it. But sometimes you damage your legacy by doing too much. So I feel like if they had just stopped right at The Last Crusade, I would have been happy with it. But, you know, others may enjoy the newer movies, but they weren't for me. Same with this franchise, Star Wars. So these were fun games. I loved playing these, but similarly, this franchise should have stopped when they were ahead. Like movies 7, 8, and 9, especially 9. And then they're doing all these spin-offs with the whole Skywalker family storyline. Like, I think there's so much that Star Wars could do with the property, just getting away from the Skywalkers. Like, for example, Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2. Those are two great stories that I would love to see in their own type of movie, TV show, whatever. And that sort of playbook for how they made those stories, I think Disney has an opportunity to make brand new experiences in the Star Wars universe. I'd love to see that. Anyway, back to this game. Fun game. You know, you got Darth Maul running around with his dual lightsaber. Pretty awesome. And I had fun with this. This is episodes 1 through 6. So it doesn't include all that garbage from the last 10 years. And then we have Luxor's Pharaoh's Challenge. I've not played this one, but this looks like it's basically a puzzle game. Actually, I lied. I think I've played the Luxor game, but maybe on like an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One, because I think it was on Game Pass at one point. I've not played it here on the Wii version, but interesting game where you've got different balls that come rolling through and you have to connect certain ones together, certain colors like greens to greens, reds to reds, blue to blue. You stack up a certain number and they either explode or disappear or whatever, and ball management, if you will. So here's a game that I purchased because, again, I was on a kick trying to get all these Wii games before they became harder to find. Haven't played it yet, but this is called Mad World. And looking at the back of it, it looks like everything in it is black and white, just like this art style you see here. Now, to my understanding, when you actually kill someone or defeat an enemy, blood is going to spray out in a ton of red. And that's really where the only color kind of comes in. But aside from that, it's going to be black and white. And I've heard great things about this game. I am looking forward to playing this. But this is, again, one that I picked up in the last year or so. I didn't own it during the main life cycle of the Wii. So definitely one I'm going to have to make some time for to go play. And I'll share my thoughts with you after I play that. Madagascar, Escape to Africa. This looks very cartoony. You got like a chimpanzee on top of penguins' heads and these animals like dancing with party hats on and stuff. I'm sure it's a pretty fun game. I just haven't played it. Then Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. I think this is a cool premise, right? Whenever they started doing these mashups between Sonic and Mario, because I remember for the longest time you had the like Monday Night Wars, if you will. They had wrestling, but they had the Sega versus Nintendo wars on the consoles, and they really brought it to each other. So to kind of see now that Sonic is on all these different Nintendo properties and even in like the Smash Brothers games and stuff, I think it's pretty cool. I've not played these games only because I think there are some better Mario sports titles out there, whether it's Mario Golf or Mario Tennis or whatever. I'm sure this would be a pretty fun time, especially on the Wii. If you've played this, let me know. I'm curious to know if it's any good. And then before we had Mario Kart 8 on the Switch, and now I guess Mario Kart World on Switch 2, this was what I think many consider to be the GOAT in terms of Mario Kart games. This is Mario Kart Wii. This one or the one Double Dash for GameCube, I know people absolutely love. I like this because they had the little steering wheel accessory that you could put your remote in and then steer that way and play. I thought it was pretty cool. I spent a lot of time with this game and I really enjoyed it. I think this is probably one of my top 3 maybe of Mario Kart games, but I have not played the Switch 2 version yet. Curious to know where you rank this one in the whole series of Mario Kart games. Next, we have Medal of Honor Heroes 2. I have played this one a little bit. This was fun in that you're running through the levels and you're like behind trenches or behind bunkers, and you're having to use your Wii remote to aim at things and shoot things. I did put the controllers into the Wii gun accessory, so it really brought in a whole different dynamic and element to it as well. I had a good time with this. I wouldn't say it's among the best light gun games on the Wii, but it surprised me, right? I was expecting a pretty generic sort of experience, and I actually had a pretty good time with it. And next up, the Metal Slug Anthology. This has 7 Metal Slugs on it. It says 1, 2, X, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very fun games. I think I have the Metal Slug series digitally on my Nintendo Switch and other places, so I usually tend to play them over there. But this is a great compilation to have as well, and I'm happy to have this in the collection. Metal Slug is a very, very fun franchise. I love the shoot 'em up action to them. Pretty mindless games to play and a lot of fun. Next, a series that I'm really not too familiar with, but this is Monster Hunter Tri. I do have a Monster Hunter game on the 3DS, and I put in a little bit of time with it, but I don't know, the game wasn't really speaking to me. This one looks pretty interesting, and I know they're all kind of similar, but also kind of different. I really do need to give this series a try. I know people love this series. I just was never really pulled in like others are. But if you've played Monster Hunter Tri, let me know. I'm curious to know if it's any good, especially on the Wii. Next up, we have NASCAR 2011, the game. I'm sure I would have fun with this. So I'm not a NASCAR fan. I don't watch it. I don't follow it. I actually went to one NASCAR show live in my life with friends, just out of a curiosity. And within like 5 minutes, I was bored out of my mind. I think we all left pretty early. But in terms of driving cars and then being kind of a jerk like I like to do and like crashing into cars or turning around going in reverse and messing up everyone else's play, I think this would be pretty awesome in terms of playing that. And I'm always looking for these good NASCAR games for that reason. Like, I just want to crash into stuff. So if you play this and it's any good, please let me know. Here's another shoot 'em type of game. This is Nerf N-Strike Elite. So again, you're using your Nerf gun, you're blasting at things, kind of like an on-rail shooter sort of game. So haven't spent a lot of time with it, but it was fun the little bit that I played. Next up, this is a candidate for greatest game ever on the Wii. New You, Mind Body. And I'm just kidding about that. I've never played this one. It looks like you're basically doing yoga in it. Yeah, probably not ever going to play this. It's one of the ones that I got in a collection of games that I bought. Next up, we have Ninja Reflex. So this is one that I've read about, heard about being a lot of fun, kind of flew under the radar. You basically play as a ninja throwing these ninja stars. I've not spent time with this one yet. It's one that I picked up again recently as I was trying to get more of these Wii games to really bulk up my collection before things become harder to find. But it looks like it's a lot of fun. Like, who doesn't want to throw a bunch of ninja stars to their enemies? So here's a game, Okami. It says on the cover it's 9.5 out of 10. And so far I have to agree, right? So I haven't played this on the Wii, but I do own this on my Steam Deck, where it's an HD remaster. It's a beautiful game. Great story, really interesting characters. I don't know how far I am compared to like the actual length of the game, but I've put in probably 5 or 6 hours over there. Really enjoying my experience with it. I'm not certain how it would play on the Wii. It probably actually be pretty good because I know a lot of what I do on the Steam Deck, you have to move your controller around to make like the strokes of a brush or paintbrush to activate certain moves. But I guess if you're using the controller and actually slashing and stuff, it'd probably be a little bit easier to play if I'm thinking about it correctly. Okami is a great game. There are many ways to acquire it today, whether it's a PS4 remaster, it's on the Switch. I think maybe it's on the Xbox, but so many different ways to get this game. Check it out if you haven't yet. Another game I'm never going to play, Project Runway. I know nothing about this. All it says on the back is dream it, make it, work it. Looks like you're a stylist and putting people on the runway. Maybe it'd be fun to have some laughs with a group of friends, but not one that I really plan on cracking open anytime soon. Next, we have Rampage Total Destruction. So I remember playing the Rampage games on the arcade back in late 80s, early 90s, and it was a lot of fun playing it on the arcade. I got this game hoping it would be a lot like that, and it was fun, but I don't know if they quite captured the full-on magic of the arcade system like I was hoping for. I think I had this for like $5, brand new or something, so it was pretty cheap. It was worth it at that price. If you can find a copy cheap, I recommend it. But Rampage, just basically breaking down buildings and cars and stuff, and it's a lot more fun too if you're playing with friends. So it's worth checking out if you can get it cheap enough. Next, we have Ratatouille. So this is a game I know nothing about, and even the movie, I've never seen Ratatouille. I really don't know anything about it other than there's a mouse and a chef, and I think it takes place in France. It looks like it could be pretty fun, especially since you're like cooking in the kitchen. It gives you the cooking mama sort of vibe. But haven't played it. I'm sure it'd probably be a pretty fun time. Now here's a game called Red Steel. This is another one that I bought based on just what I've heard about great Wii games that kind of flew under the radar. This is one of those games. I haven't played it yet, but on the back of it, it looks pretty awesome. Like you've got a katana sword, you're slashing at enemies. You've got looks like maybe some guns too that you're able to shoot. It looks like it's got some multiplayer element with 4 screens going. This looks like a ton of fun. It was put out by Ubisoft, so I think this is before Ubisoft started like rinsing and repeating all of their games like they do today. But I'm looking forward to spending some time with this. I know there's a sequel too that came out, which I think had like a different controller or something that came with it or something. I'll have to look that up again. But similar to that vein, we have Reload. So this again is just a shooting game, and I have played this. From what I remember of it, it felt like there were like you're at a shooting range and these pop up cardboard kind of images come up and you have to shoot at them. I can't remember if there were actual enemies that were moving that you had to fight or if it was just you're taking down targets. But I had fun with this. And again, in terms of on rail shooters, this is one of the ones that I think flew under the radar some on the Wii. Next up, I love this game, Resident Evil 4. This is the one that I originally played. I played it on the Wii. I think at the time it also came out on the PlayStation 2. I've not played the remake, remaster that came out last year or so. This is the only version I ever played, and I loved it. I thought the whole idea of having the gun that you had to point at the enemies, and then when you run out of ammo and you have your knife and you're slashing with your Wii nunchuck, I thought this was outstanding. And I had many, many nights where it was pitch black in a basement, playing this game on a big screen TV, just fully taking in the world and the environment, not knowing what was coming, and using the Wii remote and Wii nunchuck to kind of fend off enemies. This is a great experience. And for me, I think I haven't played the remake because, in my mind at least, I don't think it can compare with this experience that I had and the original memories I had for that. I feel like playing it today, I know with all the souped up graphics and whatever, I feel like I'd be let down compared to how my mind remembers this game. So for that reason, I haven't touched it. But I love this version. I had a great time with this version. If you've played this, please let me know. I'm especially interested how this compares with the newer experience today of playing the remakes. And then here's another great game. This is Resident Evil Archives. So I have played this. I just can't really remember if this is a remake of number one or if it's kind of like a prequel. It looks like it's more of a prequel, but um, these Resident Evil games on the Wii were a lot of fun. And similar to that, we have some on-rail shooters. So we have Resident Evil: The Darkness Chronicles. So this is its own kind of standalone story, but it does include Leon Kennedy in it. But it's an on-rail shooter where you're basically going through the different levels and trying to shoot at your enemies as they're coming at you. And in the similar vein, there was also Resident Evil The Umbrella Chronicles, which I played a little bit of this. I think if I remember correctly, the first level has you on a train where the enemies are coming at you and you're trying to move through the train to get somewhere. I want to say it has the two different characters you alternate between. Um, I played this one and had a little bit of fun with it too. I think again, my thought and hope for these games is that I play it with a friend and kind of do a co-op mode. I think it'd be a lot more fun than just me playing by myself, especially today. But if you play these Resident Evil games on the Wii, let me know. I'm very curious to know what your thoughts are about them. And then we have Sega Bass Fishing. I also have not played this one, but I think it'd be a pretty good time. Just taking the Wii remote and the Wii nunchuck and pulling in some bass and stuff. So I expect it wouldn't be too disappointing, especially if you go in it with not big expectations. And here's a game that's interesting. So it says up top, this is Shaun White snowboarding road trip, but it says the Target limited edition. I don't know if that really means anything or if that's like sought after. I know that with these other games that have come out, you'll find there's like a Target edition, a Walmart edition, a GameStop edition, a blah 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 edition. I don't know if that really matters here because this game just seems kind of generic enough. But I've not played it. This is again one of the ones that I picked up just from a collection that I purchased. I don't know if this is any good compared to games like 1080 Snowboarding or SSX series, but if you played this, let me know. I'm curious to know if it's worth my time. Next up, a game that had been on my radar for a long time. It's by many people considered one of the best games on the Wii, and it's the sequel to a game on the Nintendo 64 that I never played, but I'm trying to acquire. It's called Sin and Punishment Star Successor. So again, it's another on-rail shooter game where you're falling around and having different battles on the horizon and shooting stuff. It seems like a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to playing this. This is one of those games I'll probably end up playing with a buddy. All these different games, I think I'll just make a night of it. Just have a buddy come over and just take on all of these shooter games. But I'm really excited to own this one. It's one that I've been seeking for a long time. And next, I need to get the Nintendo 64 version and experience that too. Here's a game I know nothing about. I own it on a few different systems. It's Skylanders, Spyro's Adventure. So these ones, if I remember correctly, the whole shtick was before there were these amiibos that Nintendo started putting out. You basically had the same thing as a Skylander action figure. And I don't really remember how they were incorporated into the game, if you like put them up to your controller or something, if they had some UPC code that you entered in to say that you had them. I don't really know how it works, but I know that was the whole thing. And I would see entire boxes of these characters, these Skylander characters available for sale, or people giving them away at yard sales. I never went down that rabbit hole. I've never played these games. I know nothing about them or what you do, but I have this game, and I probably won't play it because, again, I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole. And if I boot it up and it turns out I need some of those characters, I don't have any of the characters. Next up, this was considered one of the best games for the Wii for the longest time. This is Super Mario Galaxy. Now, I think they also made Super Mario Galaxy 2, which I don't own and I've never played. I've heard that the second one is actually better than this one. I need to go back and revisit this one. So specifically, I also have this in my Nintendo Switch on that Mario collection that has Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and this game. I'll probably go back and replay it there and give it a refreshed view. But I remember at the time when this came out, I really liked it. I had a lot of fun with it. And similar to games that came out back then that were Mario related, Super Paper Mario. I loved this game. In terms of the Paper Mario games, this is the most fun one that I've ever played. I have the best memories of this. I need to go back and kind of revisit this one. So I know a lot of people today talk about The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds for the 3DS and how like Link can become 2D and go through walls and cracks and stuff. This game did it first. And the music was great. The colors were great. It was kind of trippy, but it was also Mario. It felt a lot like when Mario branched out with Super Mario Brothers 2 for the NES, where it was just something completely unique and like, oh man, I love this game. I haven't played it again in like 25 years or 20 years or whatever. I need to go back and revisit it, but my memories of this one are outstanding, and I had a great time with this. Another game I sunk a lot of time into, Super Smash Brothers Brawl. So I remember in college, I had a buddy that used to come over and play this. And one night we're playing it, and like an alert or achievement goes off in the game that you hit the 100-hour mark. And we both kind of looked at each other and were like, man, how did this happen? I put probably 200 or more hours into this game. I loved it. I played so much of it. Um, this is probably my favorite Smash Brother game that was released, only because I spent so much time with it, and I have really great memories playing this. Next up, the Beatles Rock Band. I think I own this over on the Xbox 360 or some other system. I have not played it, mainly because, again, a lot of these games I would have played in the PlayStation 2 era, got my fill, got kind of burnt on them all. But I love the Beatles. I'll play this at some point. I do have all of the drums, guitars, mics, I have everything I need to play it. I just need to get to it. Next, another great compilations. This is the House of the Dead 2 and 3 Return. These are the arcade on rail shooters. Outstanding games. I would say if you're going to start with on rail shooters on the Wii, if you don't know where to begin, this is a great launch point to begin and then kind of branch out from there. They also made these games, well, one of them at least, I think it's the House of the Dead 2, on the Sega Dreamcast. And I own it over there, played it over there, love it over there. But there's just something about pointing your remote control at the screen and being able to like follow and shoot that way that makes this special. So I really love this game. Highly recommend it if you haven't played it. You get two games for one too. So what's not to love about that? So here's a game that for the longest time was a Wii exclusive, but recently got ported over to the Switch. This is Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. So I played a little bit of this, but I remember at the time I was not a fan of this game with the Wii controls. So I maybe got an hour or two into it and I just kind of stopped. I do own it on the Switch. I will play it on the Switch, not here because I don't want to deal with all those controls. This is a Zelda game, though, that from what I've heard, a lot of people don't really look on this favorably. Like if you talk about people's top five Zelda games or whatever, this is nowhere near it. This might actually be close to the bottom five of people's lists. I need to give it a try and come up with my own opinion on it. But yeah, it was originally a Wii exclusive and since has been reported over to other games. And this one includes a CD soundtrack too, which I think has become more collectible in later years too. But if you played Skyward Sword, let me know. I'm curious to know how it ranks with other Zelda games. And then here we also have Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. So I actually own this already on the GameCube. I feel like this is a game that I acquired just buying someone else's collection. I don't think I actually went out and bought this on the Wii because I had it on the GameCube. I know the GameCube version is the more collectible one. It has a higher price. That one's closer to the $100 range. This one is around 20 or 25, if I'm not mistaken. But again, I played the GameCube version because I didn't want to deal with all the Wii motion controls with Zelda. I loved it over there on the GameCube. I'm not sure if I would love it on the Wii, but I love the Zelda games. Next up, Tiger Woods PGA Tour '08. I have not played this one. Go back about 20 minutes or so to my whole dialogue on golf games. I like the more quirky ones. This takes itself a little too seriously for me. Maybe it's surprising, maybe pretty fun to actually, hit the golf ball with my Wii remote, but I haven't played it. Next up, this is a game that I played and had a lot of fun with. This is an Atlas game. This is Trauma Center Second Opinion. So in this one, you're basically in an operating room or an emergency room, and you're doing the procedures. So if someone needs like a gallbladder removed or kidney stone or, open heart surgery or whatever, you're doing that yourself with the team, with the remote. And you're having to like go through and make sure you cut the right um, part of the person or make the right incision, do the right sutures with stitches. It's a lot of fun. It got to be a little bit stressful at times because like they do a good job pairing the music with the action of the game. So like I felt stressed out at different parts. I felt like, oh crap, I'm gonna kill this patient. I need to go back and revisit this some more. I had a good time with this, the amount of time I did spend with it. And I think they also made a sequel to this, and I think they made some games too on the DS for it that I want to pick up as well. Here's a game I know nothing about, but I picked up recently at a GameStop Retro. This is called Twin Strike Operation Thunder. It basically looks like it's a helicopter game, so you're flying around in a helicopter and looks like you're either shooting other helicopters or you're shooting other enemy targets on the ground. I picked it up because it was like $5. So I'm like, I'll take a chance at it in $5. But if you played this one, let me know. I'm curious if it's any good. Next up, You Draw Studio. So I don't know anything about this. It looks like it requires a You Draw game tablet, which before reading the back of this, I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm sure those are probably getting to be collectibles, especially since I've never heard of it. I'll go look it up after this. But yeah, I've never played this because I don't own that tablet. Looks like you're just drawing around and making art. Next up, the game that almost everyone or their parents had was Wii Fit. And I remember my mom bought a Wii just to do Wii Fit to quote unquote work out. And never did anything more with the Wii. I don't really think even put all that much time into this. But the marketing on it was great. Like, oh yeah, buy this and you're able to work out. I remember for a while, certain companies, as part of their wellness plans, like you could buy this, or I think it was even the Xbox Connect for working out purposes, and the company would reimburse you. And I remember I had buddies that took advantage of that at the time. I spent a little bit of time with this, just mainly trying it out with the whole feature of how does the board work and register with the game. And at the time, it was surprisingly accurate with what they were capturing, but I didn't really use this as a primary method of working out. But so cool to have the box with the board on it. Takes up a ton of space. It's just tucked over in the corner of my room and down here. But yeah, these games right now, no one really seeks them out anymore. They're either being given away at game stores or they're like, $1 or less. Another great game, We Play. So I had fun with this. I think the shtick with this was if you're trying to buy another remote control, this game was packaged in and it was like $10 more or $20 more or something than if you're just buying a regular remote control. So of course I bought this because I'm like, sure, give me the game. Why not? So the games on here are kind of generic, honestly. I mean, they were really following up on the success of Wii Sports, and they were trying to get people grasp in. So you have stuff like, pool and frisbee and ping pong and stuff like that. It wasn't nearly as good, but I appreciated what they were trying to do here. And then we have Wii Sports. So this was given away with every single Wii console. And surprisingly enough, this has kept its value very well, despite being relatively common. Like if you were to take this to a video game store and try to trade in, it still holds a pretty good trade in value, more so than some of these other games. So I found that pretty interesting, especially for something that was packaged with the hardware. I think it speaks to a few things. It speaks to the fact that so many people played this and have great memories of it, but then for whatever reason, they just lost the discs. Either they slid out or this thing was easy to lose. I don't know, but um, I enjoy these games. I remember playing the bowling game a lot, boxing, baseball, absolutely fun. So there's a reason why these are still sought after today. Then we have World of Zoo. I know nothing about this game. I haven't played it. It just looks like, the keys to a zoo and you're customizing the zoo and managing a zoo. I don't know. And the last game I have, it is Worms, a Space Odyssey. I don't know much about Worms. I do own some of the Worms games on other consoles. I think my PlayStation Portable and the Evercade, but I haven't really spent time with them. I know people love Worms, have great memories with Worms. Um, I don't know. Have you played this? Is this any good? Be sure to let me know because, if I need to start playing Worms, I'm happy to prioritize them in my backlog. Okay, so there we have all of my Wii games. I plan on growing this collection more as time goes on. I think that this might be the Nintendo console that next has sort of a renaissance of fans trying to collect for it. So my thought is buy the games now while they're cheap, and that's kind of what I've been trying to do. So if there are any games out there for the Wii that you have fond memories of that you recommend I should check out, please be sure to let me know in the comments, because again, I'm still always actively looking for games for these consoles. As always, I want to thank you so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll catch you next time.